I'm not teaching, I am publicly learning. But hi and welcome to Learning for the Life in the UK test, part 495, while doing Pilates leg training. And if you participate in Pilates leg training, that is at your own risk. And for that, we're starting now. So the first exercise is the Shishio Doshi. We're having one leg long out with a flex foot. We're bringing it up and we're tapping with it onto the floor, then we're bringing it up again. Now, the next thing here, we already learned it, or we're going through it again, is the interwar period. We could make a video about it, like economic changes or lifestyle change. It's too strong. Social is too strong, but it's not enough to economy. Social, cultural, and economic changes in the interwar period. Very little broadly overview of the social, cultural, and economic changes during the interwar period in Britain. That's gonna be the title for a video which I'm gonna shoot there on the second camera after we have prepared it all. So now I try to prepare and to rehearse, but I'm able to say what is written here about the interwar period and 1 minute in a separate video. The living conditions got better in the interwar period, so in 1980, 1949. The living conditions got better. Public housing bettered, improved, and also new houses were built in many towns and cities, leaving the leg out. But, as in the 1920s, but in the year 1928, the Great Depression started, and in the UK, mass employment happened, or the UK suffered mass unemployment. The effects of this Great Depression continued in the 1930s, or the effects of its depression were felt differently in different parts of the United Kingdom. We have changed the leg. And traditionally, industries like shipbuilding, who were traditionally much in use, very important. Some industries, like the shipbuilding industry, were badly affected by older traditional shipbuilding. Some industries, some industries like the shipbuilding industry was hardly affected or badly affected by the depression. Others, like the automobile and the aviation industry and the plane industry, they developed. And we're doing the next exercise, the half hammer. One leg out with a bent leg and we're bending it at the knee. The people who could have worked during the who found work by the war's mass employment, they had more money. And the amount of people who could have a car, or the car ownership number, rose in the 1930s from 1 million to 2 million. In addition, many new houses were built. Yes, there were improvements in public housing and new houses were built in many towns and cities. Yeah. There were then also writers like Graham Greene and Evelyn Waugh who wrote books. For example, do we name them? I'm going to look it up before we go to them. Changing the name. Graham Greene, that was the forerunner. Our Men of Havana, The Matter of the Heart, The Honourable Council, and Brighton Rock. And then Evelyn Waugh, which was Decline and Fall, Scoop, and Brightside Revisited. Or also, someone else did wrote something, or there were also theories newly published, or influential new theories of economy were published by John Maynard Keynes. John Maynard Keynes. Let's go to the authors. Here we have a Sir Kingsley Amis. He did Lucky Jim. That is John Maynard Keynes. Next exercise, the hammerhead shark. Leg up, bend knee, flex foot, and we bring it up and again down. John Maynard Keynes. New theories to the economy. Influential theories new to the economy. The BBC started broadcasting in 1922. 1922, the same year when Ireland became 2 countries. BBC started broadcasting in 1922, and the first regular television service started in 1936. So radio, 1932, and the first regular television service, which was regular, started in 1936. That is all we have to the interwar period, in a way also that here, what happened in Germany. We could now add here that the British government tried to avoid another war in the interwar period by accepting that Germany annexed the Sudetenland. But I don't think we're going to add that. Which is very internal, or we're staying internal. We are changing the leg and we're doing the same with the other leg. Okay, I think we have prepared our interwar period video about the social, economic and cultural changes in Britain. So that we could start to prepare the Second World War video. We're going to do one very big one to the Second World War. We're going to do a single one to Winston Churchill. We're going to do a single one to the Dunkirk, the saving of Dunkirk. And we're going to do one to the Battle of Britain. We're going to do one to the quotes of Winston Churchill. Winston Churchill one, and another one to Winston Churchill. And not more, that's not possible for one video. Okay. So we will then have around 4 or 5 videos to the Second World War. Next exercise, we're bringing the leg up with the flexed foot. What are we doing? And we bring it to the outside. And again in. Okay, let's start to prepare the one about Dunkirk. That's the easiest one we can start now, because we have to do the interwar period video first. In 1940, the Nazi German troops marched through France, were fastly marching through France, or occupying France, and the British and French troops defending France had to retreat, and they were then trapped on the western coast of France near Dunkirk. And we have a leg out. Many people from Britain, also civilians, came in small boats, small pleasure boats and fishing boats, and also with the Navy, to go to the beach and to rescue the trapped British and French soldiers off the beach or coast of Normandy, of Dunkirk. That way 300,000 soldiers were saved. And in Britain, that gave rise to the phrase the Dunkirk spirit. That gave hope, and the phrase the Dunkirk spirit. The Dunkirk spirit. The phrase the Dunkirk spirit. That is the fact I have to then say. That's some phrase. That is the fact I want to transmit. The Dunkirk spirit. It is. Okay. We have the second next video. Now we're going to do another exercise. We are bringing the leg out with a flexed foot, and we're bringing it tapping onto the floor, bringing it to the outside and tapping again onto the floor. Again in and tapping onto the floor, and the same thing. Okay, that's gonna be that video. Then we're gonna do a video about the quotes of Winston Churchill. He made many famous speeches. In his speeches, Winston Churchill is oftentimes quoted. And some of his quotes are, the first one here now, out of his first speech to the House of Commons when he became Prime Minister in 1940. I have nothing to offer but blood, toil, tears and sweat. When also, after 300,000 soldiers, British and French, were saved from the beach of Dunkirk, he said, changing the leg, we shall fight on the beaches, we shall fight on the landing grounds, we shall fight on the fields and in the streets, we shall fight on the hills, we shall never surrender. I now notice I have to do it memorized for my And after the Battle of Britain, during the Battle of Britain, in which the British Royal Air Force was fighting the German attacking airplanes, he said to the House of Commons, to the House of Commons, let's important thing. That's a good thing to remember when I'm going to say it. House of Commons. He said, and although in 1940, never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few. Okay, that was the last exercise of this kind. Now we're going to go to the last exercise, a 1 minute plank, which we're going to start in 3 seconds. And we're starting. Okay, he said, we shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. So 2 times on. When we shall fight in the fields and in the streets, we shall fight in the hills. And we shall never surrender. We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight. Always we shall fight, except for the one time, then in, and in. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. We shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender. We shall fight on the beaches. We shall fight on the landing grounds. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. In the streets. We shall fight in the streets. We shall fight in the fields and in the streets. We shall fight in the hills. In the hills. All in. 2 times on and always in. We shall never surrender. Wait, 1 minute and 10. I'm going to start the camera. And now, what are we going to do now? Not Winston Churchill, not Dunkirk, but the other thing which we hopefully have good in mind. So that was the periodic leg training. Now we're trying to shoot at least 1 video. If it doesn't work out, we're going to do it in the next video again. What is it even? Did you make the video to Ireland? I think we did. The interwar period. Let's try it. What was it again? Is it inner or inter? Or inner? It's inter. During the interwar period, so from 1918, the end of the First World War, to 1939, the begin of the Second World War, in Britain the living conditions improved. Many new houses were built, for example. Then in the year 1929, the world entered the Great Depression, and many areas of Britain were badly affected by it. Mass unemployment happened in many areas of Britain. Some industries were harder affected than other ones. For example, the shipping industry was strongly and badly affected. Other ones, like the aviation, so plane building, or the automobile industry, they grew. During the 1930s, the car ownership number is from 1 million to 2 million. So the number of people who had a car in Britain doubled in the 1930s. There were people like Graham Greene and Evelyn Vaughan who wrote books. Graham Greene, he wrote, for example, The Heart of the Matter, Brighton Rock, The Honorary Council, or Evelyn Vaughan, who wrote Decline and Fall, Scoop, and Brightside Revisited. And there was then also John Maynard Keynes. He made influential new theories to the economy. The BBC started to firstly broadcast radio in 1922, and in 1936 the BBC started to regularly broadcast a television series. And that is according to the Life in UK Test Handbook, page 48. I forgot one book. Honorary Council, Brighton Rock, The Heart of the Matter, All Men from Havana. What did I not do otherwise? Car prices fell, the car ownership doubled. If people listen closely, we're going to wonder about that. Oh, but I said the automobile and aviation industry, it got stronger, so people can think. They made here a little bit effort put in, felt differently in different parts of UK. I hinted to that a little bit. Some areas and some industries I don't know, is that important for the history that it was in some areas not? Normally that is important, if some areas are differently affected than others. But we're never gonna go to that in the book. So I wouldn't have had anything to say to it. This is the end. I thank you very much, and until the next time.